Walking in China is a TikTok account that describes its content as recording the nightlife of the city. Not an inaccurate summary, however, this makes it sound a lot more innocent than it is. When you actually watch the videos, you realise they're targeting a very specific and morally dubious audience, and the account appears to be just one thread in a web of nefarious content. I really wasn't anticipating the dark rabbit hole this would lead down. Let's investigate. If you enjoy internet mysteries and generally disturbing content, feel free to subscribe and turn on notifications for more content like this. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can become a Ko-fi member or a channel member to gain access to uncut videos and other perks, or you can leave me a tip by clicking the thanks under this video. Thanks to anyone who considers this. This video will cover some potentially triggering topics, including SA and trafficking. Viewer discretion is advised. You can become a Ko-fi member or a channel member to watch an uncut version of this video, which features extra clips that were unsuitable for this cut. This video is sponsored by Galaxy Lamps. If you're anything like me, you love unique and interesting lighting for your home, anything not to put the big light on. I have various lava lamps, glitter lamps, fairy lights, light bars, but by far my favourite is this Galaxy projector that transforms the room into a mesmerising explosion of colours and stars. It's a little too cold for stargazing at this time of the year, but you can do it from the comfort of your own home with this enchanting projector that makes your walls look even better than the night sky. The best part is, it's fully customizable with the user-friendly app. You can change the colours, brightness, rotation speed, and set timers in just a couple of taps. Even more conveniently, you can control it with Alexa or Google Assistant, so you don't even have to move to turn it on. You also don't need to worry about your electricity bill skyrocketing, as the Galaxy lamp is energy efficient, so what reason could you possibly have not to give it a try? With Christmas right around the corner, now is the perfect time to buy this Galaxy projector. It'd make a great gift for friends or family, or even yourself. So go to galaxylamps.co/TII to get your Galaxy Projector 2.0 now. Dinamimi59, also known as Walking in China, has amassed over 267,000 followers and 3.9 million likes since it started posting on TikTok. The most recent videos are all based in England, in cities like London, Manchester and Liverpool, and the aim of the account is supposedly to show the nightlife in these cities. Not inside bars or clubs, but on the street. The videos typically show people walking around, presumably either on their way to the next bar or waiting for a taxi home. It's an interesting concept, as there are countless videos on TikTok, YouTube and elsewhere recommending bars, clubs and restaurants that anyone who plans to visit one of these cities might also be interested to see the atmosphere outside at night also. So this account seems to fill a niche that might be useful for anyone planning a night out in a British city. At face value, you might not notice anything amiss, but when you actually start watching these TikToks, you realise it all seems a little off. If you've never visited England, after watching these videos, you might be under the impression that only women go out drinking at night, because the only time a man appears in the TikToks is when they're walking behind a woman or approaching a woman who's alone, and the focus is still on the woman. The women in the videos are usually wearing revealing clothing, and I don't think I've seen a single individual who looks older than 25. Many of them look to be around 18 or 19, some even younger. Though most places in England are pretty strict with ID these days, so hopefully they are all of age. If a woman is walking past with a low-cut top, the focus is usually on her chest. Whoever is behind the camera often tries to pan it with them to get a closer shot without being too obvious. Other common angles are women from behind with either very short skirts or tight pants that leave little to the imagination. The profile photo on this account is of a woman, but whoever runs it is clearly a man whose sole intention is to creep on young women. The comment sections on these videos are vile, but unfortunately not surprising. They're full of people making nasty and disrespectful comments about the women due to their outfits, calling them derogatory names, asking how much they charge, saying they'll never find a husband, comparing them to used cars. Most of these comments are from men, but there are enough women making similar remarks, replying to other comments where people say they're beautiful with things like, "Give them a makeup wipe and see if you think the same." In a way, it bothers me more seeing these types of comments from other women. When it's from a man, it's typically from a man who's annoyed because he clearly doesn't stand a chance with the women he's trying to bring down. As for women, I don't know if they're trying to get brownie points from men or if they're just jealous, but it comes across really bitter and mean for the sake of it. These derogatory comments are, comparatively, the least worrying though. What's more concerning is the number of creeps watching these clips, objectifying the women, talking about visiting these cities to take advantage of them because they'd be too drunk to say no, all sorts of highly inappropriate suggestions. And that seems to be the point of this account, to appeal to predators, to advertise these cities as places where you can go and just pick a random drunk woman off the street and take her home without resistance. Many of the women being filmed are very intoxicated, stumbling around, falling over, standing in the middle of the street looking lost. It's not uncommon to see clips of women who were alone, whether they're separated from their friends or they went out by themselves in the first place, and towards the end of the night they're just hanging around outside. These videos are clearly trying to make them look like easy targets. It's infuriating, but again, sadly not surprising, that when anyone tries to call these creeps out for their predatory comments, they're met with replies from others like, "What do you expect when they're dressed like that? They're asking for it, and they shouldn't put themselves in unsafe situations." In what world should a busy city centre be classed as unsafe? I hate that people will always victim blame and clutch at straws trying to find some way to make it the woman's fault. Even if she is in an unsafe situation, the fault lies with the person who's doing wrong, and regardless, none of these women are even in a situation that should be classed as unsafe. I mean, are we just supposed to stay inside our whole lives and never go out, never drink, never wear a dress? And if we do, then anything that happens is our own fault. It's absurd. I'd like to think my audience on YouTube has half a brain and at least a bit of empathy, so you probably don't need to be told this, but a woman's outfit is not an indicator of consent, nor is her level of intoxication. If a woman is wearing revealing clothing, that doesn't automatically mean she's open for business, and if she is, it doesn't mean she's interested in you. It says a lot about a person if they have to target women so drunk that they don't even know what day it is in order to not get rejected. But looking at the caliber of men who are writing such disgusting comments, it's hardly surprising. It's not uncommon to see men commenting actively trying to track specific women down, asking for their names and social media. It's creepy as hell, but honestly just embarrassing at the same time, as if these idiots are delusional enough to believe that they can just see a random woman in a TikTok, find them on social media, and poach them. It's also baffling how the type of men that make these predatory comments are often the same type of people saying they don't understand why women don't feel safe going out, but I guess it takes a minimum of 2 brain cells to make that link. Anyway, enough ranting about the comments, let's get back to the account itself. I don't know if he's using a hidden camera because the women don't usually seem to realise they're being filmed. He literally follows some of them, and if they're walking past him, the camera follows them. He also adds in some clips of a woman interviewing other women on the street, presumably to make it look like a woman is uploading all of these videos. The descriptions contain #fashion and #beauty, as if people are watching the clips for fashion inspiration. The purpose of these videos is so obvious, but he's being as inconspicuous as possible, so as sleazy as this whole account is, it's not like he's technically done anything wrong. He's filming people in public and making it look like he's just capturing the nightlife and the fashion. He hasn't actually broken any laws, so I don't think there's anything that can be done about it. Since watching these TikToks when researching for this video, I've had quite a few more pop up on my For You page, from various other accounts in other places in the world, in China, Russia, other European countries, so it seems that this is becoming a trend. As the account name suggests, it actually started posting videos of China before moving on to England, and some of the nightlife clips in China are even worse than the ones we've already covered. Some of the women are passed out, alone, and of course the comments are full of predatory passport bros, saying you just need to go and take your pick, talking about how vulnerable and easy they look, and even suggesting drugging them. The captions and text on the videos from China are way worse than the simple Manchester nightlife captions on the videos from England. For example, nightlife young girls, Chinese young girls eating on the street, Chinese girls who do not return home at night, and skin tenderness. Notice the emphasis on young girls. Obviously they're older than 18 if they're out drinking, I hope at least. But we all know that the type of men who specifically go for 18-year-olds or very young-looking adults would absolutely go lower than 18 if they could get away with it. I can't help but think that whoever is behind this account is once again teetering on the edge, not actually doing anything wrong or illegal, but hinting at things that other predators will understand. The first few TikToks that were uploaded on the page are kind of out of place, though still hint at some kind of inappropriateness. 3 appear to have been filmed in a spa. The person filming is receiving a massage in one of them. Contextually, I wonder if these are the kind of spas where you can go for a happy ending, so to speak. The last video before the nightlife ones appears to show a man handing something to a young-looking woman at the side of the road, perhaps money, before they disappear into the bushes. The accounts that Walking in China follows are interesting too, including 3 young-looking female influencers, a few that post the same nightlife content. One has various clips of a Chinese woman's first solo camping trip that honestly looks like the beginning of an adult movie. It's clearly meant to be enticing, with the camera often focused on the young-looking woman's behind. Some parts are even pixelated, suggesting there's a little more on display at these points. Perhaps the most alarming account followed by Walking in China is Kwanguo7, which appears to exist solely to document this man's experiences with sex workers in Thailand and other Southeast Asian countries. There are countless videos showing him finding women, either in what appear to be brothels or massage parlours, or just driving around and approaching them at the side of the road, or approaching their doors right as another man is leaving. There's no question of what's going on here. In one video, a woman is having contact with the man while he's driving. In another, only a fully clothed woman can be seen on camera, but you can clearly hear what's going on in the next room, if you get what I mean. Now let me preface this by saying I have no issue with women doing what they want with their own bodies, especially since the rise of OnlyFans, more and more women are openly choosing to earn money in this way. It's not for me personally, but if someone wants to do that and they're genuinely happy, who am I to judge? And if you are someone who does judge workers, I'd suggest you start your beef with the men paying them. Anyway, it's important to remember that there is a massive difference between being a woman in England, for example, and choosing to do OnlyFans off your own back for some extra cash, and being a woman in a different country who is living in poverty and doesn't have as many opportunities, who has to resort to earning money in a way that she wouldn't choose if it wasn't her only option. Furthermore, there is a significant problem with sex trafficking in Thailand. Primarily women, but also men, are coerced and even kidnapped and sold into slavery. Sometimes women from rural areas will be sent to the cities to find work so they can send money back to their families. Surprisingly, rural women who have an education are actually more likely to be trafficked due to the expectations and opportunity costs of their education. Organised crime groups operate in Thailand and use methods such as physical force, debt relief for family, marriage, threats, and passport theft in order to traffic women. Thai women may be forced into such work in Thailand or sent to other wealthier countries, and migrants from countries such as Cambodia and Vietnam can also be trafficked into Thailand to work in the industry. The victims are often physically and psychologically abused, malnourished, and infected with STIs. It's bad enough that some women feel compelled to do such work because they don't have many other options, but it's even worse when they're literally being forced into it. Shockingly, more than 60% of females who enter Thailand to work in the industry are under the age of 18, and it's estimated that around 75,000 local and migrant children are currently victims of trafficking in the country. So to summarise, a horrifying number of sex workers in Thailand are victims of trafficking, and many are also children. With that in mind, seeing a TikTok account promoting such activity in Thailand kinda leaves a bad taste in my mouth. There are countless videos showing many different women, some showing multiple women at once. What are the chances that all of them are over 18 and decided to get into such work off their own backs? I'd say slim to none. I know people can look younger than their age, but there are a couple of clips where the women literally look like children. I find it very hard to believe that they're over 18. Additionally, many of the women just look sad, empty, distant. Some even look like they are under the influence of drugs or alcohol. It's honestly heartbreaking to watch, knowing the dark reality of the industry. And some of these videos are particularly worrying. In one, the man filming shows a bunch of tissues on the floor that look to be covered in blood, before panning to the woman in bed next to him who's just mindlessly scrolling on her phone after whatever activity just occurred. In another clip, a woman is filmed from behind while wearing a robe, leaving the bed and going to the bathroom. She can't even walk properly. She's stumbling, grabbing onto the shelf to hold herself up, touching her behind as if she's in severe pain. Similarly, another woman is filmed struggling to walk down the stairs, clinging onto the rail, unable to go quicker than one step at a time. Another shows about 15 men surrounding a house as a woman sheepishly moves towards the doorway looking terrified. I don't know what's happening or why, but there are a few separate videos showing various women running away from the man, which is also concerning. Sometimes he will shout something at them before they run. I think he's speaking in Chinese though, so I don't understand what he's saying. It's possible he threatened or frightened them in some way, but even if the women are only running because they see he's filming and they don't want their faces posted online, that's bad enough. It doesn't look like most of the women he's actually interacting with realise they're being filmed. This man is happy to have contact with these women, but has no respect for them, broadcasting them to his 80,000 followers like they're just objects that only exist for his entertainment. Sometimes the man will reply to comments giving the price and the location of these women, so it's possible he's actually involved in the business and is using the account to advertise. Either way, he clearly has no concerns for the safety of these women if he's sharing their location with random people who ask online, who clearly want to seek out specific individuals. When I first came across the Walking in China account, I thought it'd be worth making a video on with hopes of spreading some awareness about this type of content. I really didn't expect it to get so much worse with the Kwangu07 account, but here we are. I don't know if the two accounts are related or if they just follow each other. There are a few other pages as well, all with similar content, with names like Walking in Thailand and Walking in the City. And they all follow each other and basically no one else, so it's certainly plausible that they're all linked. Perhaps they all know each other, or they could even all be run by the same person or group of people. Considering the possibility that these accounts might be linked casts an even darker shadow over the Walking in China account. If the Kwangu07 account is anything to do with human trafficking, either directly linked or just involved in advertising these places, could the individual behind the Walking in China account be wandering the streets looking for potential victims? I don't know, I don't want to get too far into speculation, so I'm not going to say much more on that, but something does feel really off about all of this. I have reported all the accounts. I'm not sure Walking in China will get banned because it hasn't technically broken any rules as far as I'm aware, but the content on Kwangu07 has certainly violated TikTok's guidelines relating to solicitation, so I'm hoping at least that one will be taken down. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts and theories in the comments, plus any suggestions you might have for a future video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Huge thank you to my Ko-fi members and channel members whose names are on screen now. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week in a new video.